Batmobile. Damn, that was quick. Wasn't expecting anyone to hear this early. About a multiplayer survival game that's like if Stardew Valley and Minecraft had a baby. What is it? Happy Hedge or Happy Friday? Yeah. $1. Yeah. What's it called? The Survivalist. Oh, that's the guys that did. Yes, it's the guys that did. The Escapist. Its main gimmick is you go around kind of doing like the generic survival stuff, but then you have the literal monkeys to do your grunt work for a certain point. That's right. I skipped that on. I respect it though. Let me know how it is. It was like really inexpensive. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna play that. I didn't see anything new there, but maybe it's good. Didn't really bother looking into it if I'm being honest. Oh yeah, it was a dollar on Steam too. But that was a dollar put somewhere else, so. There was also a really good game, I'm blanking out on that. Okay. Get out, bro. Let me see if I can find. I have too many games on my wish list. Also, I've been seeing YouTube shorts on that Bopple Battle game. I respect the hell out of it. It actually looks really good. The dev's just literally shooting his thoughts out there. Like, here's his problem the game has encountered with the players. What if I changed it? I like his design. I like his design philosophies. So far, he's kind of cooking with that game. Also, there's a game called Barony I'd recommend checking out as well. Okay. Yeah, Forager. Yes, Forager. That's what I was trying to find. Yep. I recommend checking out Forager. I've heard really good things about that. The only problem is the developer's kind of an asshole. Apparently, he doesn't. And apparently, he doesn't have some. He doesn't have like good business practices or whatever. But other than that, the game's actually like pretty good. Maybe a little simplistic, depending on what you're looking for. For the most part, it's pretty much on the 10. That's one of the main problems with that's one of the main problems with a game. Basically, it's like it's a cool game until you get too powerful at the automation, and then it becomes an idle game. If you like idle games as well, it's a good game still. It's an but first it becomes an exploring simulator where you ADHD every living thing and click on it with the right tool and weapon to collect things, and then you start making better things. And then you start doing Zelda dungeons and buying islands to explore and ADHD everything, and then turn that stuff into stuff using different crafting recipes and different crafting stations. Did I just see rising there into down smash mash? Ew. Oh, I see. The Link's just a battle projectiles, no shield. I don't think he's much of a left brain. Ew, why follow that up with down air? Why not just do nair instead? Much more intuitive follow-up option. I wouldn't say the game's bad though. You know, it has its charm because it's basically it's part Zelda, part Zelda, part like I don't even know, just like ADHD survival simulator. I would say one of the selling points is the fact that you're just constantly doing something. It's a very fast game. The problem is that people buy it because of that, and then when it stops being that, it, you know, it sucks for them. Unfortunate. Dude, is this character worth the effort? Everything was so much easier on Hero. I really can't tell if this character is actually worth any of the effort involved. Ah, I should have pummeled him one more time. I mean, he did that to himself. What's up, Goofs? It's been a minute. Strange punish. He was obviously expecting something else. Oh, come on, guy. Who's this guy in stance? What the hell? If Dunk gets online, I did some off-screen mining for Tiny Rogues. I ended up beating Megadeth last night. I'm excited they're interested in any new games coming out. Yeah, I just played like a shit ton of this game called Tiny Rogues. You can basically call it a new game, even though its old version came out a year ago. The new game, the new update that just changed the whole game around. Released right at the end of the year on the 22nd. The game's been really good so far. Also, this other little game called Lunacid just got its 1.0 update, and kind of playing that in the background as well. Bigger games. Dude, there's a bunch of when I was watching the Game Awards, there was like a shit ton of games I wishlisted from that night too. I wish it's like over half the games that they showed off there. Yeah, he almost got him there. Not the matchup I would have expected going into the new year, but I'll take it. But yeah, are you interested in anything, Goofs? Did you end up watching the Game Awards that happened towards the end of the last year? You really should give it a look. At least watch the highlights because they shut off a lot of games, and while that's, I would say that's pretty controversial, considering it's mostly supposed to be about the Game Awards, there was some very interesting reveals there. Yes, Monster Hunter Wilds, God of War Ragnarok DLC, Blade announcement. Yes, Sega's bringing back all of their older franchises up to the new era. So we're getting some new games for those guys, right? One complaint I have is fuck base building. Takes so many resources and crafting takes years. Well, I think one of the ultimate end games of that is having a really big base in that. So there is that. But I think it'll make it a lot easier. Exactly, yeah, they want to incentivize using the monkeys, or else what's the point of the mechanic, right? I'm with you. They make base building feel really tough to do, and then you add in the monkey. Yeesh. That does not sound fun. But honestly, at least it sounds pretty interesting for $1, so I'll give it that. Come on, guys, uppy. Wow. You let him do it to you. Other people, this also seems a lot easier. I think it's up to 4 people online. Damn, is it crossplay? Not that it's on Super Sale anymore, but I'm just curious. The biggie. Oh, dude. KSVP. I'm back, dude. Thanks for the raid, guys. Damn. What's up, you guys? Not crossplay? That sucks. Thanks, man. Have good gains. Gotta say, yeah, if you start it too early. Nice. You, Isabel, for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Meta. Better than Villager. Thank you, Kareem, for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Oh, he missed his chance there. That would have been a nice spike. Or teed himself up for that, too. I love the Cramorant emoji, dude. That's so sick. Oh, he did one of the classic don'ts. He pummeled with Psych Up. Thing I appreciate is that you can either pick up things one by one or hold the button for mass pickup. In the game where you need a million materials, yeah, that's good. I'm not actually quite too sure what I parried there, but alright. Yeah, go right ahead. I'm assuming there's still room. Did you? Caleb, what's up, man? They're playing Peach on random, my guy. They're not a Peach main. Did you? Hey yo. You have something you want to share with the class? You man Shulk? Nah, I do not. Okay, I cannot, dude. This guy's lag is horrendous. Delay is atrocious. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm so done with this. It is not worth it. Delay is horrendously bad. The soul character? No, that's not my soul character. I'm doing that right now. Are you kidding? Never in my life have I felt that bad of a delay. I'm a hero. I haven't played him in a good minute though. Dude, I don't even know if I'm closeted. Feels like ass on Wi-Fi. People with simpler game plans make you question reality. You can get rated? Oh, that's sick. I love when games do that. Necess does that as well, which is why the base building is important in that. Damn right it is. This mix has been one of the better ones for Sonic music. Blanket statement. But yeah, I would say the majority of them aren't worth your time, at the very most. Or at the very least, I should say. At most, you have games like Sonic Forces where you just hold forward and boost, and then you don't play the game. So not cool. We just need to go back to games like Sonic Unleashed, Sonic and the Black Knight, Sonic Colors, Sonic Generations. I'm fine with Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, though they're not my personal tops. I understand why people like them. Sonic Unleashed is still one of my favorite, Sonics. I love that game. That song about Sonic 06. Yes, I didn't mention that because it's not a good example. I didn't mention that because I was mentioning games that are actually good. Yeah, Sonic 06 is just a buggy mess. I think it would have been a fine Sonic game if it wasn't literally unfinished. Like, it really just isn't good. I know, right? Sonic Unleashed is so good. Seriously, Sonic Unleashed is awesome. Gonna say the heroes out of Redeem. Technically a Redeem, but been taking a break from them. Need to snag a new controller or come back to my boy. Plus, it's also a good excuse to kind of look around at other characters again. Or else I would just keep playing him over and over again. After Hero, I really didn't need to play anyone else. I thought I needed the secondary, but honestly, nah, I don't really. No way, is bro coming in with the same statement again? That is insane. In the same emote? I'm gonna need some spice from you, my guy. You're starting to become stale bread right now. Inkling Steve player. Ah, I see you've conformed. I don't blame you. I mean, honestly, I didn't think it, but I mean, even Peanuts swapping Steve or something like that. Yeah, I never thought that guy would ever swap off Little Mac, but he does actually want to win, so. I think there's still quite a few ways to win in this game, but you don't really care how you win. You'll have a preference. Yeah, like, personally, I would just do like Pyramithra, but whatever. Go all the way with Steve, I guess. The new meta's Duck Hunt. Ew. Too committal. And he's like advanced K rule. Once you kind of know his gimmicks, I mean, what's the point? He has very specific setups that you can kind of like, you can kind of learn if you pay attention. That doesn't hit my shield? That's weird. Yeah, you know what that match was. You're not gonna say anything. Your smash tag's too stale, buddy. Oh shit, let's make big moves is on. Does Smash it literally just remove the key requirement or what? So what? You just does smash it mean open it, or like is there a different reason to smash it rather than just normally open it? Ah, got it, okay. Yeah, I knew it wasn't crazy yet. Who's a Ted Dig? Let's make moves right now. Aw, the last lightning should have hit. Here we. I did what? Break shield? Shield health isn't reduced in sudden death. Is it? It just tightens the screen and talking about rage. Yeah. Well, rage doesn't increase the numerical value, it just increases the knockback scaling. Got my shield broken from Pac-Man F Smash. I mean, his smash attacks are really good. Still sucks on Wi-Fi, so. And smash attacks are not good unless you're like very specific characters like Game and Watch and shit. Found 2 chests, but my inventory is full. It sucks that you can't like just put the chest in your inventory or something crazy like that. I'll check, let's see. Yeah, it's just for knockback. Doesn't have anything to do with damage. So his ass probably just charged it long enough. You can pick it up only one at a time. Wait, you can change the color of your monkey? Ooh. I wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I looked at the sudden death mechanics, and all it does is it tightens the screen by zooming it in, and it puts you to 300%. And since Smash 4, after 20 seconds, bombs will start raining from the top of the screen. If no one's dead by 20 seconds. No increase to anything. So yeah, I'm really not sure how that works. %400 crafting speed and 450% efficiency. Wait, do the monkeys you gather in that game have random stats? Got it. Look at the battle cats real fast. Yeah, they start at level 0, but they will level the stats up. Oh. Damn, dude. Dude, we need to get your ass playing the Cess. A better version of that, too. Enderman. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's actually like a $600 game. This little brother. Exactly. Except not quite sure how the art stacks up against each other then, but though if you go to Necess's Steam page, you can see the GIF of the new art team. The official art looks good. It's gonna be a clean looking game by the time this is done. And again, people forget that Terraria looked like complete ass back in 2012. I mean, that game did not look like anything back then. I mean, the player model in the original Terraria was based off of the Final Fantasy 1 Warrior. They weren't working with much. But yeah, the Escapist team, they know how to make some good art. Why not just down smash? How to get bombs? Isn't it a crafting recipe? Like, see if you can make gunpowder or something. Good thing the ends much lower. You. A little rusty with the boy, but closer than it should have been. GG. I mean, I know it's the same game, but I guess I'm a little bit behind saying this, but what happened to this game, man? really just doesn't feel as fun as it used to. I don't even mind Steve. Not Steve or any character. It's just, I don't know, the whole vibe just isn't what it used to be. I know a lot of people like to put it on just a character or two. It's like, oh, well, it's because of this or that. Yeah, I guess in the moment it could feel like it's a character's fault, but I just don't think we're playing the same game anymore. And it's not necessarily the people getting better. That should make a game better, but I don't know. Maybe that's like the Sakurai curse. Getting good at the game made it less fun to play. Who knows? I was pinning on Burnout. Occam's Razor, I guess. It also doesn't help that everywhere you look, some new person's conforming to the top 5 characters. Probably Steve, but you occasionally have a Sonic coming out of the woodwork, or probably just another 10 or 20 Aegises. Maybe with a Rob, and maybe with like a good 5 Robs and a Cloud sprinkled in there somewhere. Apparently the world gets replenished every few days. I think the same day that happens is when a raid happens. Okay, that's cool. So basically, like, the loop is gather from all of the worlds, bring it back to a base, fight a raid with what you have, the world gets replenished, gather it all, fight a raid with it all, rinse and repeat. I hope there's certainly more than that, because it doesn't seem like there's a lot going on. At least with Escapist 1 and 2, you had to like it was a very unique survival game, because it was a prison survival game with the objective of escaping the prison, not just surviving and living in it. Like, I used to play the Escapist 1 with my cousin all the time. It was a good game. Like, a prison survival game is pretty unique. Especially for the time, like fucking like 2014 or whatever. It's like a decade old now. I'm sure that's the objective, yeah. But it seems like, I don't know, let me know if it gets more, if more stuff happens, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot really happening there. I feel that with whatever character I played with this game. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I never thought I would, I mean, I do need a new controller, but for the most part, I still enjoy this game when I'm playing Hero, like, entirely, but... sometimes I don't, and that kind of sucks. I never thought I would run out of fun. I mean, he's like the only character I really give a shit about in this game. He's still the most fun. And while there's some other characters I ended up liking or kind of in the mood for, it fades. Yeah, this game just isn't what it used to be. Whatever your reason for that being, you know. I think mine's probably burnout with a mix of maybe like I'm kind of sad to see the dream kind of go a little bit. This unlimited game almost, like with the exception of low tiers. Let's be honest, low tiers aren't really winning. It's really cool when they get close, or when they get top 8 like a Doc or whatever. But if we're being objective, low tiers aren't winning, and obviously everyone knows Ganon doesn't win anything. But like for the most part, you have like maybe like a 1 in a million low tier, but everyone else above them, they had a real shot at winning something big with enough effort, but that's just so not the case anymore. And honestly, it would have been. Like, yeah. It really would have been too, and I think that's why people are pissed at the. I think that's why people are pissed at the characters that are really good in this game, because like, I think the problem is that this game was really good, but, and I think Steve is still a great character. I think he is. I think he's a pretty balanced character overall. Like, he's very powerful, but I think he's a very balanced, powerful character, and we've seen how to do it wrong in the past. We've seen Bayonetta, we've seen Meta Knight. Hell, we've even seen Kirby and Pikachu in Smash 64. People forget that, but they dominated that game. It's just the only problem is no one cared about Smash 64, but they ruined that game if you really think about it. So we've seen how they've done it wrong the entire series. And the only time they got it right was a rushed game with a bunch of bugs to make everyone kind of the same. I hate to say it, but I think Melee will go down as probably the best Smash game. I hate to say it, but like competitively, it probably will go down as the best Smash game, and that sucks to say. But overall, Ultimate is the better Smash Ultimate game for all audiences. It has a pretty decent competitive. It has a pretty decent, I would say it's like 70% competitive and like 90% casual and just good fun with friends and stuff like that. So ultimately, it is the better game. But if you're looking for pure competitive game, I don't know if I can say Melee gets beat. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't want to say that, but how it is. But I really don't think people should put too much. Look, people really shouldn't put too much flack on Steve. Sakurai made a very good moveset. He made a very good character. And it just turns out that the meta of this game was leaning towards a character we didn't know existed. Think about it. I mean, Sakurai understands there's a competitive side of this game. And regardless of what he knows about it, he's making characters the best he can, with the most representation and the most unique movesets that he can. And that can go poorly, like Banjo-Kazooie. Nobody likes that guy. Banjo-Kazooie sucks. But he's designed with the exact same philosophy as Steve. And everybody gives Banjo shit for being garbage. And everyone gives shit for Steve for being too good. But in the end, they were all just made to be good and honest, faithful recreations of how they would be brought into the Smash for whatever it turns out to be. And I think Steve is a good example of kind of like that quote you hear sometimes, like, What is it? 40% of people are employed to 40% of people become employed to jobs they didn't even know existed, that didn't exist like when they were born or whatever. Like, there's a pretty big statistic of people that go into jobs in the workforce that didn't exist when they were growing up. And I think Steve is a good example of that in like a video game fighting game character form. Like, the meta, like, we all were worried, like in 2019 and 2020, we were worried that the meta could potentially be this way, but we didn't think of it that way because no character really needed to go that far with it. Like, you had Sonic and Snake, and they were certainly annoying, but nobody played enough of them yet. Nobody really thought how bad it could be because there wasn't enough Sonics around yet. There wasn't enough Snakes. These characters looked hard. They were confusing, and nobody really wanted to put in the time for a game plan they thought was lame. But when people, you know, like when people hit the when shit hits the paint or whatever that fucking saying is, you know, when stuff gets real, people want to hunker down and figure that shit out. And they did. And look at these characters; they're excelling in a meta that ended up really working out for them. So. Steve is probably like a nail in the coffin for a looming threat we didn't want to admit was happening. When shit hits the fan. Yeah, exactly. When shit hits the fan, when stuff gets real, when you know, brass tacks kind of deal, right? Like, they hunkered down and they figured out these characters because, like, one person had the invasive thought, right? You know the memes where it's like, oh, well, like. He let the intrusive thoughts win. Playing lame in this game is the intrusive thought to the entire meta back in 2019 and 2020. People didn't realize how defensive Leo was until literally like a year ago, okay? Leo understood what this game was. He was the fucking prophet of what 2023 Smash looks like back in 2019. And everyone thought he was so fucking cracked. But in reality, now you can actually see you can see everyone playing like him. Everyone decided to listen to him and then realized what this game is. It's defensive. It's very, very defensive. It's very campy. And Steve is just a big old knife in the back to a looming problem with this game in that sense. If you think it's a problem, obviously there's a lot of people that still play this game and like the defensive nature, and they love playing the characters that excel in it. But Steve was the guy to show you what happens. And now that people are picking up Sonic for real, he is just like he's like when you hit it, when someone hits a bullseye with an arrow, but then they hit that same spot again, like exactly, and it splits the arrow. That's Sonic getting a player base and results right after like Steve. Right after Steve's domination started. And it doesn't help that now people are kind of like generally just not in a good space for this game, and that obviously went overhead. That obviously went to a very up high position with these people, because like now this mentality is creeping to these executives that are running corporations to keep this game alive in the tournament scene. And then all this negativity in the community comes to a big like explosion when fucking Panda Global starts fighting over who should have the rights to work with Nintendo, trying to fucking suck Daddy Nintendo's dick because they see the writing on the wall. They're worried this game could start dying soon, so they scramble like a frenzied little fucking ferret to get control of what's happening with this game. And it just ruins everything even further. But if you think about it, I really do believe that it really is like a butterfly effect from the fact that this game is at its core defensive, and there's nothing you can do to change that. You see how pissed Tweak was in that tournament against playing Akola? Steve ruined the game. Saying Steve ruined the game is kind of rude. And I don't believe that's the case. I think, but like Book said, they ended up being the perfect species for their environment. It wasn't their fault. I mean, Sakurai has gone on record stating he understands there's a competitive meta, but he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't really understand it. Hell, people that do developers that do care about about their competitive don't understand the competitive. They may understand a general idea, but they're developers. They're too busy literally making a game for their for all of their hours of the day. That's a very time-consuming job. They don't have time unless they are genuinely like passionate and use their very limited free time to look into their own game. But not many people want to do that. Most people want to relax. They want to pursue their other hobbies, especially since their main job is dealing with video games. They may want to step away, maybe play another video game, or maybe like, you know, do other hobbies completely outside of that, like, you know, whatever. Like, that's completely off topic though. So I don't think it's fair to say Steve ruined the game, because he didn't intentionally mean to. It just happened. And hell, people wrote him off. People were giving that YouTuber shit. Dude, what's his name? Aizawa? Aizawa said Steve was mid-tier. He was like, man, all you have to do is hit the guy before he can mine. Bozo. Simply just stop him from mining, and he has no resources to play the game. And that's why he'll be a mid-tier. He got shit for that, because nobody knew how ridiculous his character was gonna be. It took him an entire year. When Sora came out, so did Steve. All right, let's be honest. When Sora came out, Steve 1.0 came out. That character was in fucking beta. Nobody knew what was going on with him, and they saw some dude with shitty movement, and movement so bad it hindered traditional fundamentals, and then people logged off. They're like, all right, what can I really do with this guy? And then you have fucking Minecraft nerds coming in here that are like gigabrained and determined, because they thought the funny block guy is in a fighting game. Let's try some stuff out. Let's see what he can do. And you put an entirely new mind into the game that's been playing nothing but a series that's been playing a game designed for creativity and experimentation, into a character that feeds off of that like a parasite. And then he becomes top tier because some guys decided to make a joint Discord and basically be in like a 24/7 VC call while they're all just testing random shit in lab. And then there was the meme after that of like every 48 hours a new Steve Tech really is gonna release. And it's like, holy shit, dude. What? And I thought that was cool as shit. I've always liked Steve. I think Steve's cool. I will defend Steve because it's the game's fault that he ended up being so good. And that's pretty much it. And people realizing that, and that all circles back around to the fact that the dream's kind of dead. Like, why would you put the time into this character when you have other things to do? Genuinely, like, what's the point? If you think about it, this game's pretty balanced. Exactly, this game's balanced. This game is very balanced. It's just people don't like how the game is balanced. The problem is, it's like there are characters in this game that are too balanced, and there are characters that are balanced. Okay, like here's the problem, right? People don't like it when I say there's two worlds to this game, but there is two worlds. There are characters that are balanced for high tier and top tier. High tier and top tier is a different world than mid tier and below. They're balanced for two very different games. Like if you just cut the roster in half and separated them, they would be very successful games, and they'd be balanced for each other too, and no one would have any complaints. because if you play a lot of the top tiers against each other, with some very polarizing exceptions, Snake, Sonic, Steve, the three S's, I'm not counting Min Min. Min Min really isn't that bad, and I think people just need to wake up and kind of like use their brain a little bit, like just a little bit more than the average bear Yogi. I'm sorry, like, look, Min Min is fine. Min Min's a little annoying, but like for the most part, they're actually a very cool zoner. Like, they're lame, but they're also cool because they're not like inherently like super oppressive, and they put a lot on the line to fuck with you. They're like a very traditional zoner. Like, people don't give Dhalsim shit from Street Fighter because that's what she is. She's like Dhalsim in Smash, right? Like, Dhalsim does the same thing, except the only thing is that Min Min has a lot more space to work with, and Dhalsim would be a really good character in Smash because they're the same character, essentially. Like, they put a lot on the line. And the only thing is you can't attack Min Min's arms like you can with Dhalsim, which makes Dhalsim even worse because Dhalsim has very little space to work with, and you can hit his limbs. Min Min has more space to work with, and you can't hit her limbs. You have to let her overcommit. And you have to make sure you have stages where you can move around the arms, or else he really is like an oppressive force. But after that, very chill character, very solid back and forth. And for the person playing Min Min, and a lot of people that complain about her like two flaws, use your brain and play better, because she's really simple, and you guys should be like high as fuck in winning games, or like on a drug or something. Like, there really isn't a lot of complexity there, and it's like really simple back and forth. Besides those three S's, Snake, Sonic, Steve, those are very polarizing and oppressive game plans that hyper fixate on the campy nature of this game, the potential campy nature of this game, right? Like, Smash is a very, like, if you think about the game outside of all the characters, Smash is a very neutral game on its own. The physics aren't even that bad. And while people attribute the physics to incentivizing defensive play, it's also because it's also because it's a very neutral zone that you can have these people that are like really good at offensive and defensive. It's just the problem is like there's too many characters that are honestly just defensive even if they're offensive. Like, there are too many offensive characters in this game that are actually really just whiff punishers, and that's a defensive style. There's no one that truly excels at genuine offense in this game, with like the exception of like Roy, Crom, Fox. But for the most part, like, everyone else is kind of a whiff punisher, man. Like, there isn't like a lot of true offensive people in this game. That's a really big problem. So, thinking about it, you know, Smash is a very neutral zone, but it's the characters. So, it's the fact that there's more defensively built characters in this game, and that's where the problem lies. So something like Rivals 2 is going to be a really good game, and I wish people would check it out, because it's everything. Rivals 2 is going to fix all of your problems with Smash. It's going to be an offensive game. It's going to be very movement focused, even more than Smash is. And everyone says Smash is very movement focused. That's very true. But if you don't want to focus on the movement, go play a camper, and you'll do just fine. You'll do better than the guy that's sweating with 500 APM on Fox and Roy. Or go play Game & Watch and then do the same amount of work as a Fox and a Roy, but just even better and defensively, and with a little bit more insanity, and just like, so easy. You ever played Nick All-Star Brawl 2? I played the first one, and I've watched the second game. The second game didn't work out. I still have some flaws with that one, but the slime meter is the best thing to come to a platform fighter in a long time. But it's a really good game. There's some flaws, but the slime meter is the best thing. I wish people would take that and put it somewhere real, but what am I exploring? There's a bunch of animals and orcs wanting my cheeks. And I found a vault which is essentially a Zelda dungeon but without the lore. Well, that's fixed. Heard that game is dead. It's kind of dead, yeah. It's kind of dead. Yeah, it's getting there. It's not dead yet, but it's kind of close. It's like it's not great. It's not in a good spot. It was supposed to be the GOAT too, but it kind of was. But yeah, even though this game is balanced, I think the dream's kind of dead. I think the dream's been dead for about a year. Because people want to win, and there's... Even though I think this game's very balanced, the problem is that I think if I had to boil down all my real thoughts on this game, while everything I've said is what I genuinely believe for this game to be a problem with this game. It's like, if I had to really boil it down, I think the dream that anyone can win is dead, and it had to, and of course it had to be it had to be with characters that excel in the lamest style of video gaming in all of video games, which is camping and defensive. And while defensive can be very fun, it's camping, not zoning, and that's very different. And that's very different. And people need to realize that and cut some characters some slack on that. And while everything in this game realistically is camping, even the offensive characters camp. It's called resetting. It's called resetting for neutral and just giving it and trying something else out after taking a breather. That's fine, but when it becomes the whole match, that's camping. I think people need to really kind of wake up to that distinction too. They see some dude sitting on the other side of the stage for like half a sec, like a little under like 2 seconds or 3 seconds. Like, oh, he's just camping now. Like, give him a chance. If it's like, you know, 20 seconds or more, he's a camper. But if he's just trying to get something done, that's no different than in Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, where you just back off for a minute. Because the opponent's obviously beating your ass, you need to kind of like reformulate and get a new game plan going. Big difference. But yeah, and with this camping playstyle, right, being very prominent, or at the very least defensive. But let's be honest, the top 3, in my opinion, though Snake isn't nearly as busted as Sonic and Steve, he's low-key, he's very, very good. Like, he's almost a top tier, played perfectly. But that's a little taboo to say, because, I mean, he still has his faults. Yeah. And especially with this kind of playstyle, and with these characters that are very good at doing it, why would you want to waste your time playing characters that are good on their own, that are actually really good and have potential, but take a lot more effort and probably don't have the ability to camp as easy as these other guys? Look, I believe that Sonic is the best character in the game, but people still want to say Steve, and that's fine. I don't blame them for thinking that way. I think it's still a contentious debate. I think Sonic is definitely the best character on Wi-Fi, and I'm okay with saying Steve is probably the best offline, but I'm still believing Sonic is the best in the entire game on both fronts. I think his playstyle is the epitome of everything everyone is hating right now. And it's exactly what is really good in Ultimate. What he does is the streamlined version of exactly what you want to do in this game, no matter if it's online or offline. And I think the key thing is that it's streamlined. I think Sonic is powerful because he's a streamlined and very easy version of that game plan. Though you could, I think some characters like Steve have higher peaks. Steve does it a little bit with more, does it with a little bit more difficulty, but he has higher peaks because of that. He can dominate harder with a little bit more effort. But here's the thing, Sonic also wins against the Steve matchup and Kazuya matchup, which is, I didn't think would be, I really thought Kazuya would win against Sonic, but okay. Apparently that's the thing, and I'm not going to argue with the nerds up top, so. It's a general consensus that Sonic beats Kazuya. I understand why he beats Steve, but Kazuya's kind of crazy. I ain't going to argue that. It's a general consensus. But, man. Anyway, for real this time. Let's see. A streamlined thought for this TED Talk. Let's see. The game is ruled by characters that ended up taking this game in a camping direction. Because this game's physics benefits campers a little bit more than offensive people, even though it's a mostly neutral game. And regardless of their difficulty, why would you want to put the time in to a high tier or a mid tier that would just have to put in a lot more work, especially when fighting these characters, when they're already putting in more work against other mid tiers and high tiers in the first place. And they probably have lower stats too. So why'd you want to do that when you could just go play a top tier? That's an offensive top tier, a defensive top tier, camping top tier, all these things. There's kind of some merit to say that there's a bit of a stat issue in Smash Bros. There are so many characters that there was bound to be issues with the roster, but there's kind of a bit of a stat issue with this game. Like, when people say there are characters that make the game easier, it's not just because of the playstyle. It's also because, like, they are like categorically better than somebody else. And the one saving grace, and that's the problem too, that compounds on a really big issue if you want to be that guy that takes a mid tier or like a low or mid tier to the top, or maybe like a low high tier, somewhere in there, right? One of those categories. Anything under the top tier, right? If you want to be that guy, you are kind of compounding on your gimmicks to compensate for the fact that you probably have worse stats than the characters that you're fighting, like literally. There's something that you don't excel in that some characters at the very top probably excels in, and they can capitalize on that, and you just don't have as many options, and you have to kind of rely on your game plan going into whatever makes you strong, which is kind of the point, I think. I have to imagine that was the point at some level, like you know. At the start, it sounds like a good way to balance characters and make them unique and make them forced to play unique, because that's also a problem with Nick All-Stars Brawl, right? Are you European? No. East Coast USA, my guy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know. Kind of rambling now, but there's a lot of like, okay, never mind, have a nice stream. Alright, thanks, man. Nick All-Stars Brawl 2 is a problem because what Smash does right, but it also kind of, I think it's one of its biggest strengths that also became a weakness, is the fact that they're very good at designing characters to have the right weaknesses and strengths to force them into the playstyle that makes them a unique character. So you feel like you're fighting a very you feel like you're fighting a very different character every single time. Nickel Stars Brawl 2 does the thing that a player that played Smash and got angry at kind of like the lame negatives of certain characters would do. They would make all the characters in the game at least have very powerful tools, and a lot of those are kind of the same tools too. So that's a bit of a problem. You lose some creativity that way. But that's why I think Rivals 2 is the GOAT. Not only does every character feel very unique, it also has the correct roster size to make this work too. You need to have a good roster size for this. If you're gonna give everyone, if you make everyone fun and powerful, but also balanced with each other, while also still feeling unique, you need to have the roster size for that. And Rivals 2 will do that very well. Rivals 1 did that very well too. Everyone felt very unique, but they also had very powerful moves that that were very competent moves if you understood their game plan. Instead of just like the kind of the Smash treatment where some characters just have a shitty stat or a shitty move. And while those things may have their use cases, it typically hinders them and forces them into the way that they need to play, instead of being a bunch of good moves that incentivize the unique way to play in a cool and in a powerful way, right? That's how I feel anyway. There are more characters like that have that problem than the Rivals 2 situation. Yeah. I'm rambling. Kind of need like have too many thoughts on this game. It's kind of shitty. I have too many thoughts for a game that ultimately is kind of mid overall. Competitively. Casually, this game is top tier shit. But yeah, competitively, nah. We got the if you had to ignore my entire conversation, which I don't blame you, I would ignore me too, because I'm just rambling about shit, and it's probably not very coherent. But to say it in the goofy way, I think we got hit with the Sakurai curse. In the goofy way, I believe we got hit with the Sakurai curse. I think this game was always meant for a more casual, chill time. And playing at comp, we got to see the natural end of it. And now we see what the comp is, right? Like, if you look at it, if you look at this game in a certain way, right? There are a lot of ways. If you look at this game only competitive, all my thoughts are, I hope, valid, right? But if you look at this game in a casual Sakurai curse kind of way, you have things like, okay, there's camping in this game. This game's defensive. Okay, I'm gonna throw a fucking bomb at you. I'm gonna summon a companion or a Pokemon, and then you're gonna have to deal with that. All right, or I'm just gonna start shooting this gun I got. Or what if I got an invincible star? What now? What are you gonna do now, huh? You can't camp that. Oh shit! Did Palkia just flip the stage upside down? Oh shit! What you gonna do about that, huh, punk? And that's the if you believe casual fixes this game, then you can look at it like that. So yeah. There's two ways to look at how this. There's two ways to look at how you believe this game should be solved, and while the way to fix competitive is very nuanced, it would make it and would really fix it in a permanently long way. That would be like, that would just like, that would solidify this game into like the pantheon of fucking video games. If you just want to like turn on some, if you want to turn on the items, the game's fixed. Let's be real, the game is fixed when you turn on items. If you want the quick fix, there you go, turn on items. The game's good again. But to say competitive is terrible is such a lie. Because competitive's really good in this game. It's just most people don't like what it's become, but it's actually good. It's a very competent competitive game, especially for something that was supposed to that's trying to fit a bunch of audiences. Because like there's more people that play casually than competitive, so the competitive that we got is actually very cool, regardless of its campy nature and its defensive playstyles and these characters that make you want to like just throw your Switch out a window. But other than that, comp's cool. Comp's very, very cool. I didn't know I said terrible. You typed it. Lol. No, yeah, like, yeah, comp isn't terrible. That's cap. I'm not gonna cap any discussion in this except for that. None of this game is terrible. It is like genuinely like a 9 out of 10 game overall. For what it does, for what it's trying to juggle, it's a 9 out of 10 game for everything it tries to do. It tried to be the one size fit all for all of these different things, and it did it really well. But if you're gonna have to pick one, if I'm Nintendo, if I'm Sakurai, if I'm the Sora Unlimited team, if I have to, or the Bandai Namco team that makes this game, if I have to pick a way to lean when I'm making this game, I'm gonna pick casual too, because I want money. I don't care about these guys that, I don't want to care about these dudes in their basements trying to make cash off of being really good at this game, because they're like, they got confidence from beating their brother once, whatever, right? That's not the audience that makes them the cheddar. So competitive took a hit, but they try, and it was pretty good. And you can tell, all I'm saying is, you know I'm right, because look at the DLC characters, dude. Look at the DLC characters. With the exception of Kazuya, who was genuinely just a love letter to Tekken in every sense of the word. He was, Kazuya was truly meant for competitive play. Nobody in casual is playing that guy. Little Timmy probably don't even know what Tekken is. He ain't playing that character. He probably didn't even buy him. All right. Kazuya is the only truly or competitive character. Other than that, everyone else is leaning towards like goofy silly mechanics that are powerful and for a good time. And of course, as competitive players do, they will take these mechanics that are very overtuned because you paid money for them and you want something worth your money, so they're gonna make them overtuned, because God forbid you don't want another Banjo, do you? Exactly. You don't want to pay $5.99 and get Banjo. All right. So accept that they're gonna be a little overtuned. Okay. Because that's just the easy way to make a character pretty fun. And I think even if think about it, okay? Now you can say, but Mr. Streamer, what if they just made them really fun but without the power? I agree, but like, you know, counter argument. their lean towards casual also makes them want to make characters kind of overly a little tuned towards powerful, because they can get done more. They can get stuff done more with less, right? Like, okay, I'm just gonna like little Timmy's just gonna take Steve, and he's gonna build to a diamond, and then he's gonna just destroy his friend in like 4 hits, right? As we know, playing comp, it's very true. He will destroy you in like 5 hits with diamonds. So. So, I agree. But the thing is, they're not just fun because they're powerful. They're also very fun because they made very good movesets. Like, Terry is one of the most fun characters in the game. Hero is one of the most fun characters in the game. Joker, while he's tough, a little tricky to master, he's super fun. Piranha Plant doesn't count as DLC, but kind of a similar argument. Very fun character. Even if they're like the definition of like super gimmicky, they're really fun. You can point at every character in this game and go, yeah, they're pretty fun to play as. I like using them. I like controlling them. They feel good, and playing them is a treat. I am glad I spent my money on this, and that is exactly how they want you to feel. Banjo got away with it because they didn't realize till after they spent their money that Banjo is actually garbage, and it also helps that casually he's actually pretty good because he has items to help him out. Banjo definitely needs items to be cool, to be powerful, and once he gets his items, he's cooking like crazy. By the way, that's not a joke. It's good. He's a good items character. He's a very good items character. He's got all the right stuff for items. Yes, and side B, exactly. See what I mean? People are happy with Banjo because side B. See what I mean? He's garbage, but casually, nobody can tell yet because it's the first week, and side B looks insane, and he has really good ground movement. He has decent air movement, and he's got some projectiles. On the surface, he looking kind of cracked. He looking like a pretty decent guy. Only when you start getting competitive and everyone's already spent their money, and the hype has died down that Banjo fucking Kazooie is in the game after like 20 years of begging, then do we see that he's actually kind of a doo-doo butt butter garbage little character that isn't worth your time unless you're Torgiri. Bless your heart, TG, you're my goat. Keep pushing Banjo. But like, yeah, that's it. But yeah, look, you can like Banjo, that's fine. I'm just saying, most people don't, and most people don't want that guy. I'm doing fine. It's up to you, man. Yeah. What was I saying? Sorry, someone texted me. Oh yeah. Wait, is that kanji on his gun? When did Doom guy have kanji on his gun? Items are cracked. Comp is just fine. Comp is just fine. It's all right. Coming with that talk. I know, right? I've never seen it on that weapon either. I had to look. I mean, dude, you ever pay attention when a Mii Gunner wins? Your ass is already wrapping up your controller when you see it on the win screen. You're like, fuck, oh, whatever. Ass is out of here. Mii Gunner? Nah, get him out of here. Shit, I'm done. Nah, Mii Gunner's chill. I just don't like that they're so low movement. Like, they're so slow. I get that they're a ranger, but come on, guys. There are rangers with better movement in this game. Like, Samus is the quintessential zoner, and she has faster movement than this guy. But yeah. Once I get better at wave dashing with CODs, I'll use them more. Put the time in, buddy. Go to the lab. Put the time in. Kazuya's game plan is simple. Kazuya's mechanics are tough. Put the time in and you're correct. He's a cheat code. You don't mind hurting your controller a little bit in the process, but it's worth it, especially for free wins. Mii Brawler is the best one. Oh yeah, easily. That's easy. Everyone knows Mii Brawler is the goated one. That guy's good. He's really fun too. Mii Brawler is a good example of just a fun character for this game. Running around, beating people up. It's better. And while I think people can shit on you, also a good example too. I think while people can shit on Young Link, that character's cracked as fuck, dude. Like, let's be honest. You can be angry all you want, but he's doing exactly what you want. You wanted a zoner that's quick and gets things done without being too campy. There's your guy. You wanted him. Hey, I have a secret for you. Do you want to know what happens when you want to know what happens when you code down his stats? You get the other two. Crazy theory, I know, but just a few small changes and there you go, you get those guys. Literally. What do you want? You wanted a guy with projectiles that's fast and cool and gets shit done. That doesn't camp your ass out the whole match. Well, there you go. There's your guy. You don't want him? Okay, go play the other two. Oh, you don't? Because they're kind of mid? Oh, well. Double standard much? What more do you want from them? Like, crouch dashing is the easiest advanced thing to do at Kazuya. I mean, there isn't much difficulty with Kazuya because, I mean, it's just traditional fighting game practice. Smash players are just babies at inputs, but just go to the lab and put the time in for the inputs. There you go. I don't care about Kazuya. I really don't care, but like, you know, for Ryu, I mean, yeah, I can do the inputs. It's not hard. Tatsu's literally fireball the other way. Quarter circle back. Fireball's quarter circle forward. And then do the Z. Do the Z for Shoryuken. Done. Alright. Get me out of here. I'm done. I'm good. It's mainly Ink's damage. Like you say, they should be inconsistent because haha, all kill, no, all combo, no kill. But he does too much for it to no longer matter. Yes, kinda, right? That's where you start. That's my point though. That's where you actually start running into the inconsistency because things are gonna get stale. And you give people, you can't combo them forever. There's gonna be a chance where unless you really do something crazy, they're gonna get out of it, and that's another chance. That's like the definition of inconsistent. That's another chance. That's another X factor chance for them, for the opponent to do something again. I mean, while realistically, yes, you should just mop them up after they fall out of your combo. Let's be real. You're still in an advantage state, probably. They're off stage. But that's still a chance. That's still a chance, and that's inherently what inconsistency is all about. You're right. At that percent, you really shouldn't have any trouble, but you can, and that can is a thing. That's why people hate Kazuya. There is no inconsistency with him. He is everything I'm talking about. If Yank didn't have that time where you let the opponent go, you just blew him out of the water right there, and you built all that up and you actually finished it off consistently. He does that all of the time, and people hate him for it. Link lets you go at like 90 to 120 usually. And then he has to make one more good play to mop you up, and then he gets to do it all again. That's really all I'm saying. We're both right, in my opinion. But inherently, that technically is inconsistency. Because Smash is definitely a big game about clutching, so... So even if you're at like fucking like 150 from a full yank combo, just getting your ass whooped, I mean you're still moving around on your own. You're not. If you actually made it back to neutral, that's clutch. That's clutch time now, potentially. A lot of people say if you're good at avoiding Electric Wind Godfist, you should beat Kazuya. I think it's bullshit. Okay. There's merit to both sides. So the one thing I learned about Kazuya, I didn't know this. Kazuyas have a combo for every SDI out of Electric Wind Godfist, and that's where the mix-up happens. If you get hit with Electric Wind Godfist, you can SDI in a variety of ways. And that can make them miss entire combos because they have to commit to the next hit. They just have to kind of assume that you're going to they just have to assume that they know where your SDI is, and they have to be really good at reading that little like 2-frame little like SDI line. And you really can mess up a Kazuya big time by getting really good at that. But the problem is that you have to, SDI. So it's a lot harder to SDI than DI in this game. And there's only so much time that you have to make a real impact to change things, which is why most Kazuya combos just kind of work anyway. So the point is to not get hit, period. You actually have I've learned that you have a real chance when you get hit. It's just not easy, but there is a chance actually. It's very possible, and I've done it a few times now. Especially when they expect you to not do it correctly, and you get to see the immediate and very real change that you have on Electric Wind Godfist from an SDI standpoint. I've seen it firsthand after getting told that. It's actually very substantial. But no, just avoid it entirely in your cooking. But yeah. But on the other end, you also have a lot. You also have a lot of other stuff to contest. You have literally just doing it again. You have random super armor or invincible move number 67 if you get unwise and decide to approach after that, which you shouldn't, by the way. Just always play slow at Kazuya. He's too good at countering rushdown characters for you to just headlong into something dumb. So just don't do that. And then you have like, and then my favorite thing is when the Kazuya player isn't really getting his way and he throws a hissy fit, so he starts throwing lasers and shit at you because you're doing things right, and then he's just kind of annoyed. It's great, but that's still something to consider too, because his laser does substantial damage, and at a moment's notice he can just start crouch dashing at you, and then you're like, oh fuck. Look, all I'm saying is, I don't think Kazuya is as big of a problem as people say he is, but I do feel really bad for rushdowns, because when your character is an offensive fighter that counters your own archetype because you're so good at countering the rush and fast-paced playstyle in this game, that's an issue. That's an actual issue there. There isn't a single other character in this game that counters their own archetype. Like, you could say like, oh, we're villager or hero. I mean, kinda, but not really. Like, hero isn't random. I have a lot of thoughts on hero, but he doesn't entirely full counter the other zoners like Kazuya counters rushdowns. Kazuya is 10 times more oppressive to his own archetype than hero will ever be. And while bounce in the moment feels like insurmountable, at some point it's gonna run out, and he has slow frame data that you can take advantage of. And I always call it chivalry. He has the chivalry mentality, but it's true. Like, he's very fair with how his moves work. Like, outside of the menu, they're slow. You can see them coming, and they're very versatile. But you know how they're gonna hit you because they always come out the same way. But he's still broken, and he should be a high tier. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm not trying to downplay him, but I am saying that he isn't as oppressive as Kazuya to his own archetype. I'm personally not bad at fighting Kazuya, but I do play Link, and Kazuya is very weak to zoners. So yeah, exactly right. Like, I am biased too. I main hero, so I don't have a problem. I'm gonna hit his ass with lightning and fire and rain holy wizard glory on this guy, and he won't even have a lick. He won't even have like a chance to touch me. And then when I'm feeling cheeky, I turn on the Christmas colors, and then I'm cooking them anyway. Like, you know, exactly right. Like, he's so good at beating the shit out of his own archetype, he loses just as hard to rush to zoners, right? So, you know, it's cool. It works. It's very extreme. It's another problem that Smash has, being a little too rock paper scissors in some aspects of the game, and Kazuya is a very good example of that. Yeah, Belmont Lamau. Someone's talking about Belmont in 2024. What are you, a T3 Dom enjoyer? Look, I like Belmont. He's cool. He's super cool and all, but like, he isn't real, and he's like a very good definition of why would I put the time into this character. But his setups are hella cool, and I like watching them. Just why bother, right? But Samus though, yeah, Samus for sure. Samus is just, dude. That's the thing with Samus. Samus can already just run around and charge shot an entire game, and that's a genuine playstyle. Charge shots only is a genuine playstyle for her, for a lot of characters. Seriously, like one of the best zoners in the entire game. Like probably still, like for my money, the best zoner in the entire game. You have stuff like Snake, I get it, but he's a little different. But like as far as traditional zoners go, Samus is like the GOAT still. Riddles will still play him and still fuck shit up. Kinda? Okay, when he wasn't dividing his time, no. But now that he's on the different games, I agree with you. Riddles and T are cracked with Kazuya, and Siski keeps beating him with his Samus. Exactly, right? Like, well, no, T just needs to pull out the Pac-Man, and then you're goated. You're fine. Because offline Pac-Man fixes a lot of the issues. Shot's just really good as a mix-up. It's good for everything. It doesn't have to. You don't have to. Like that's the thing. When I mean some characters work harder in this game, Samus is a great example. You don't have to mix up charge shot. You can just keep hitting it, and then while the opponent tries to play the game against you because they're trying to hit their own projectiles, potentially, or they're also, or God forbid they're a rushdown or something. Just keep hitting it. Oh, well, we're talking about Samus Olimar. Yeah, exactly. But Olimar isn't real. Olimar isn't good anymore because of how the meta went against him. Like he doesn't. The meta isn't helping him anymore. Even if he's a cracked character, it doesn't help him anymore. So he's not worth your time. But if you're having a problem with Samus, call your resident Olimar. He will beat them up, dude. It's a -3 matchup. Olimar will fuck shit up for Samus in every conceivable way. Would you say Link is a trapper, a zoner, or both? Both. That's why I've always loved Link. I have a soft spot for Link because I think while he's annoying to play against, he is a very versatile character, and it's super cool. There's a lot. I've already said my complex thoughts on Link a long time ago, and quite a few times since then, but for the most part, I mean, yeah. A good Link is going to do both equally, and the problem is he's one of those characters like Shulk that is never going to find the right player. Even though Link actually has more of a chance than Shulk, but you need a guy that's really good at mixing up bombos, boomerang, and bomb trapping. If you can do all three really well all the time, he's one of the best characters in the game. But it's not real, and I don't mind. And that's a pipe dream. Like you're on some fucking PCP. You're on some like hard drugs if you think it's actually gonna happen. But those are the three main Link styles. You have bomb trapping, you have bombos, and you have traditional bread and butter boomerang. Boomerang boy. Those are the three main Link styles, and there genuinely are people that excel at one or the other, like a fucking Pokemon trainer. But you don't have a guy that's doing all three at once all the time and doing genuine mix-ups with them too. Because like if you can mix up like bread and butter boomerang into like and like randomly hit a bombo on somebody as a mix-up, you're cracked. Or if you catch someone being annoyed by your bomb trapping with a boomerang for a nice easy bread and butter that builds some damage with your boomerang, that's very common and a lot of people do that for Link players, but it's still a good playstyle. But yeah, we need someone to complete the Link Triforce. That's like my summed up thoughts on him. Someone needs to be good at the Link Triforce, and you're like genuinely like a very good character. But it's not gonna happen. Just like no one's gonna go in with Shulk and be like god tier 2. I mean, just give it up. It ain't happening now. This game's 5 years old. Give it up. Give it up. This isn't Melee. This game's had online. This game has literally had as much time as it needs, especially for a character like Link who's been here since day one. All right, like with Melee, it's different. People are going like, "Oh, why is Melee just no understanding of their characters?" This game hasn't had a line. Dinosaurs could have been roaming the earth when Melee was made for some of these kids, like for some of these fucking babies playing Ultimate. Like there was no internet for Melee until like a few years ago. So of course now these mid tiers are getting real love and we're figuring them out. Donkey Kong's a real threat in Melee now. Marth is pissing his pants right now because of DK. It's great. It's really funny. Marth, one of the best characters in the entire game. Yeah, that like this funny monkey's beating the shit out of him. All because Wi-Fi is letting people play and really figure these characters out in a real sense too. There's only so much labbing you can do before you need to put it to test. Now those guys in Melee land have a chance to figure this shit out. Which is exactly why my point of characters like Shulk and Link are never gonna get it. This game has had Wi-Fi since the very beginning, and no matter what you say about this game's Wi-Fi, they've had it. And they've had plenty of time to figure it out. Yeah. But yeah, Theory Link is like a high tier. Theory Shulk is top 5. It's different but the same because they're one of the only two. They're like one of the. Okay, I get what you're saying, but the only reason I mention them is because they're both riding the same pipe dream. They're like one of a select few characters that are riding a pipe dream. And people still are posting, and it's like, come on, bro. It's 5 years. Nobody's doing it. Give it up. Especially with the... Maybe if the meta wasn't so defined by the DLCs, there may have been a real shot for them. But accept reality and go play Steve. Thank you for calling my TikTok, I guess. I'm kind of joking, but I'm kind of not. I mean, people are. I'm joking, but people are genuinely doing that. Like they you don't have to play Steve, obviously. You can go play Rob, you can go play Game & Watch, you can go play Cloud, you can go play Sonic. There's a lot of characters to play at top level. There's actually a very good, a very well-sized roster for top tiers, which is why I think this game's balanced. But there wouldn't be this many top tiers if the game wasn't that balanced. But still, people are angry because there's so many characters. And the character that speaks to them it takes too much work, and it's like, oh well, I gotta conform. I gotta conform to the norm. Oh. What's up, NSP? Yeah, Theory Link is like, you know, Theory Link's high tier, so. But high tier is good enough in this game. If your character is high tier, your character is good enough. You're winning a super major with that character, genuinely. But you have to contest with some real tricky customers, though. But it's totally doable. But yeah, I think it's like, I don't know. Is there anything else I need to really say about this game now? Yes. Another stream where I think I've divulged everything about the game again. I think it's kind of it. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's probably it, right? Dude, the Minecraft skins are goofy as shit. I love them. I don't know why Nintendo thought the need to add these totally jank skins into the game, but I'm happier for it. They played into a crowd there, and well, I don't think they knew, but it's pretty funny. I think normal Link is high tier, but most people say the same thing, so I don't think I'm wrong. Okay, let's be specific here. Let's get the specifics, okay? Normal Link is low high tier, one of the lowest high tiers in my opinion. That's still pretty good, but not cracked. You put all the puzzle pieces together, and you complete the jigsaw. You have like a high tier, a double high tier. Towards the top. He shifts up like almost a whole category, but overall he's still, you know, high tier. He really shifts up a category, and moving up in high tier is a big deal because there's a lot of characters. There's a lot of really good characters. There's a lot of strong people to contend with up there. So I am trying to make it a big deal. I'm trying to make that a big deal because I think it is, but. He's not a low top tier. No way. But if you put everything together, real. There's some real cracked links out there. Yeah, exactly. But also there's, you know, kind of a thing where, you know, Wi-Fi makes him a little better than he is. Let's be honest. Guy's name? Yes. Oh, man. Sorry, your name's like so dark blue. A little hard to read. Sure. Oh, dude. Holy shit, he has a second monkey. I can't believe it. Are monkeys just trapped in these things? Like, Huh? Oh, sorry, I was texting someone. Let's see what's going on. 3 monkeys, let's go. We're just gonna 100% this game by the end of the break. Here you go. I'm like being low high tier. Yeah. But exactly right. Like, I think he is very. I think he's a very competent character. It's just, you know, you gotta, because of his low movement speed, he doesn't give you a lot of leniency, and you have to put some work in, and that's kind of a problem. The more work you have to put in, the harder it is. Like, you have to put work into him to play him normally well against good players. So, how do you expect someone to push him to the brink when it's not even easy to get the normal game plan done? Like, think about it. Now that people understand how to play Steve, he has a busted normal game plan, and it's a really, if you're good at Steve, you can execute it really well and very efficiently. So it makes logical sense. The next logical leap is to push him, do the crazy stuff against these top level players. That's harder to do, but you can push him there because you can always fall back on his easy game plans. But when someone like Link is having a hard time doing his normal game plan against these characters, against these really good characters and players, you can't reasonably expect someone to actually push him any further when they're already having trouble keeping up in the first place. Not necessarily to the player's fault. Like, these good Links are just having trouble, man. How it is. Think about Game & Watch. Let's see. What do I think about Game & Watch? Yeah, that's what I think about him. In all seriousness, no. While brain empties the joke, I mean, it's true. To be honest, like, that guy's busted. I mean, I've loved Game & Watch since the beginning. I love Game & Watch. I just do. I don't know. I think he's fun. Before I was ever a good player, I played a lot of Game & Watch, and he got me free wins. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't really know entirely what I was doing. I just kind of was like, well, maybe and then you throw him up in the air, and you hit him with the, you throw him up in the air, you hit him with some nairs, and then you do up airs, and then they're at kill percent, so you can kind of do whatever you want, right? That's all I needed to think about them, and that. So I have a soft spot for him, but I understand why people don't like him. He's busted. Okay, here's all you need to know about Game & Watch. All right, he is a character. What? What happened? My Switch! What happened, dude? Wait a minute. What? Oh. It turned off. What? No, okay. Look, dude. No way. Look. I even kept my controller on so this wouldn't happen. It slept on me. This is wild. I've never seen this happen. My controller was still on, and it went to sleep on me. Even my own console think this game is mid. Oh my god, dude. Even the Switch is done with this game. Turn it off. Oh, that's so funny. I would agree with you, but my dinner's gonna be here. My parents were out of town today, and I was texting them earlier about what I wanted for dinner, and they said they were arriving with takeout dinner, so I can't eat it any later. Yeah. Give me some chicken fajitas. Gonna be cracked. All right. But oh yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, freaking Game and Watch. Game and Watch. This character consistently has the most amount of best moves in the game on one character. That's all you need to know, okay? If someone asks you what do you think about Game & Watch or how to describe him, that's how you describe him. He's a character that consistently has the best amount of best moves. Or I guess not, just take it the word consistently out. He has the best amount of best moves. Or the most amount of best moves. That would be the right way to say it. He has the most amount of best moves in the entire game. He has the most amount. He has the best amount of up smashes, or the up smashes. He has the best amount of smash attacks, of best moves, right? Like think about it. He has, freaking up air is the best one. Down smash is the best one. Up B is the best one. Nair is the best one. Back air. Is it? Probably. I'm gonna say back. I'm gonna say back air probably is, right? I mean, back air is a disjoint. So I'm gonna assume it is. Down tilt. Yeah, down tilt. There you go. F tilt. There you go. There's another one. Up tilt's kind of mid, even though it's actually really good. It's just the character's so busted. That move actually makes you work for what it does correctly. So L plus, I'm not here to work hard, right? Like think about it, up tilt's actually a good move, but you could just throw. Oh. Why would you work to use up tilt when you don't have to work for that character? Working is not how that character works. You don't actually have to work hard. So when up tilt actually makes you play the game to get it off, no, I'm not here for that. So, not a good move in his world. Neutral B, yes, no, neutral, not the best neutral B, but obviously not the best neutral B, but in the top, it's in the top 10 neutral Bs in the game. The problem is, neutral B is a stat category because it has to compete with Minato arts. It has to compete with charge shots. You know, neutral B is a very good button for a lot of characters, so that's tough, right? Look, I agree with you. His neutral B is top 10, but it's not the best. Come on now. Be goofy. It's good, but like there's so many good neutral Bs. It's a tough category to say he's the best in, because he's not. Down B, yeah, down B is one of the best in the game. It's another stat category. Like heroes down B is the best, but Game & Watch is like top 5 because it's an absorb, it's a reflect. It slows his descent for some fucking reason, like a little bit. Like it gives us some like interesting movement options. Is that it? Yeah, like I think that's kind of it. Like he just does everything like really well and very simply, like in a very simple way. I encourage a lot of people to play Game & Watch because they would have a lot more fun playing the game with him. If you want to be a person that excels at playing the game in like a kind of up close and brawly kind of way, and you don't want to like play a like a character that works too hard, look at him. If you want to play someone a little faster, then you can go to Roy. You can go to Fox. There's characters to, there's still characters to go to for people that want to beat that for up in your face kind of characters. All those characters are totally fine. Mithra, awesome, because Mithra also has Pyra. Taco Bell, damn, I love Taco Bell so much. I'm having like an actual Mexican restaurant, so it's gonna be delicious, but I have a soft spot for Taco Bell, so I'm a little jealous. But other than my dish is gonna be so good though. Yeah, that's my favorite thing about Chef. Not only does the projectile do so much damage, like Chef does so much damage, but the icing on the cake for me is the fact that the pan does 8%, does 10%, and it shoots you at a down tilt angle. Like the pan itself is something you can use. It's so funny. I don't know why. Like they could have stopped at the projectile and everyone would be totally fine. But if you want to just bop someone in the head with a frying pan, you can totally do that too. It's so ridiculous. I don't. They went above and beyond for that character, and I don't know why. I appreciate them for it. I've had a lot of fun playing Game Watch over the years, but he's a character art. He good at the game. He's pretty good at the game. Enough said. Like Falcon is very underrated. Falcon? Nah, he's rated. Falcon's totally rated. I think Falcon's one of the most rated characters in the game for me. There's not really much going on with him anymore. He's doing the good stuff. He's a totally chill character. Overrated? No. He's not overrated, he's overhyped. I think everyone knows where his power is. His power level is very defined and it's a good solid status. But he's overhyped. Even today, he's still overhyped. But he's not overrated. He's overhyped. He's very potent though. Anyway. I'm out of here. Thanks for the talk, guys. And good games, by the way. Yeah, bro, you get your brain in check. Go get some sleep. Get some water. Saying the wrong things today. Alright, I'll catch you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night. Peace.